Okay, so I've been playing guitar for about 8 years now. I started off on classical guitar and then 2 years later moved on to electric. I kept up classical, but electric became my main focus. I started playing in bands and whatnot. And then about a few years ago, I started experimenting with acoustic, singer-songwritery, kind of accompanying myself. And yeah. So education-wise, I've always had a teacher. At the moment, I have a classical and electric guitar teacher, but I take exams with them, and I don't do any of the stuff with them on social media. I kind of do easy singer-songwriter stuff on social media, mainly because that seems to be the most attractive. I also want to market myself as a singer-songwriter, and yeah. I actually teach guitar now as well. I teach classical, electric, and singer-songwriter, kind of everything, because I'm an all-rounder, and yeah. So tips-wise, okay, so very quickly, I cut this part out. So if you're learning on your own, I think learning your basic chords initially, your chords that don't go past the 3rd fret, I think that's really, really awesome, because you can do a lot with just like 3 or 4 chords. You can play hundreds and hundreds of songs. Next step, I would say, is definitely improving your strumming, finding strumming patterns that work for you, that you feel comfortable with, that are interesting. I have a few defaults I go to, for example, and then obviously there's building bar chords and whatnot. So I think finger picking is a really, really big thing that people should look into more. In general, it's a really impressive thing to be able to do because it is really difficult once you get to more difficult songs, but it's beautiful, and I think a lot of guitar songs that people really like have finger picking, Blackbird, Sweet Creature, those kind of iconic acoustic guitar songs. And so kind of in general, I could go on and on. I really don't know what kind of stuff you want advice on, whether it's how to make the guitar sound better, how to make you sound better, chord patterns, strumming patterns, anything like that. For me, I've picked up so many different kinds of things within the past 8 years that really help me. For someone who wants to look for more of a challenge that's been playing for longer, I'd say something definitely to consider is like down tuning and stuff like that. It is one of my greatest pleasures and worst enemies to downtune because I've broken so many strings. I really don't know what kind of advice to give because there's just so many things I could say, but if there's any specific questions you have, I can definitely help point you to a few places. But yeah, that's kind of how I learned, and that's what I think is really cool for me at the moment. I think there's 1,000 more things I can cover. But anyway, yeah, I hope that helped.